Okay, this is a story of Jason Stoakley, a St. Louis cop who was charged with murder just about 2 weeks ago. He was freed last night on bail when he made his first court appearance the day before. His bail was $1 million. The judge said it. And there's more to this story. I might have to do a whole nother story on St. Louis because, boy, just like any other big city, it's dirty down there. But a background story real quick is 2011, they're chasing a suspected drug dealer named Anthony Lamar Smith. And Anthony Lamar Smith was unarmed at the time because this cop planted a gun on him. But before he did that, he told his partner to hit him in the rear end him in the back to make him wreck, and he's on audio recording saying, "I'm going to kill this motherfucker." So usually whenever someone says, "I'm going to kill this motherfucker," it's kind of premeditated. It's hard to get away from that. So what he does is he gets out and he pumps 5 bullets into him. I believe he had his assault rifle. If I'm wrong, I'll correct this before I send it out. But I believe he had an assault rifle, which is against department policy, but that didn't upset them at all. He left on his own terms for Houston shortly after the shooting, but he is seen on the video planting a gun on the guy. I mean, he just went back to his duffel bag and threw it in. It turns out they're saying the reason that they brought this out now is because the new DNA evidence 5 years later has shown that it's only Stoakley's prints on the gun, only the cops' prints. But there's more to it, as there usually is, but the activists, the ones everybody hates, they are the ones getting the dirty cops off the street, the real criminals, because they fought for this. And be honest, I just found this news clip right before I was ready to send this video out, so I'm not sure exactly what it says, but I think it's worth a look. This is a girl who's done reporting down there in St. Louis, and she's been following this case.
11. What's the story in a nutshell about these activists who want this police officer charged for something that happened in 2011?
Then shot and killed him. In the press conference yesterday at City Hall, I did ask the question, sort of how is this coming up now, 5 years later? What are the issues going on now? And the explanation I was given was that the deceased mother believed for some reason that the officers involved in the shooting had been jailed, and she had recently found out that they were not, in fact, jailed. And she then reached out to these activists for support. They began filing sunshine requests with the police department.
Alright, my tape's really slowing up, but I don't have time to do it over. But what she said was she thought they were jailed, and it turns out that they weren't, and the activist came to help. So, you got to give it up. I know they're a pain in the ass and they block the roads and stuff, but and then she said they filed a Sunshine Act, which is kind of like a Freedom of Information Act. It must be what they apparently call it down there in St. Louis, and that means where they have to release the records. I'm going to get over this tape real quick. From St. Louis, this one here said, he should have been jailed years ago, or charged years ago. That was from May 18th, but I went snooping around on the internet, and I found out that he and the other police chief before Sam Dotson, and we all know Sam Dotson, or we should if we've been watching the news for the last 2 years, they have been named in a civil complaint, and the civil complaint, see right there it is, and Chanel Taylor was the plaintiff, and apparently at the time of this occurrence, it's a alleged deprivation of plaintiff's rights. He used excessive force. Claims as stated above, plaintiff does not assert any claims or counts directly against the board or ISOM, that's the chief, but her claims against the individual officer defendants in their official capacities are the equivalent of a claim against the board. A suit against government officers in their official capacities is the functional equivalent of a suit against the government entity. So that's how he got off, and when you say that you're going to go ahead and take a civil suit, usually they're trying to just tie it up so they don't have to involve them criminally in anything. Because God forbid we lock up any of these maniacs. And again, I'm not a cop hater. I'm just calling it as I see it. Plaintiff asked Stoakley for immediate medical care. It was declined. Plaintiff was transported to St. Louis Metro Police Station, was booked and processed, asked for medical attention throughout the process, was denied. Approximately 5 hours, then was taken to Children's Hospital. Now, why was she taken to Children's Hospital with a fractured wrist, you may ask? Because she was all of 110 pounds, and she was a minor. He cuffed her up so hard that it broke her wrist. It fractured it. You can't do that. Plaintiff was 5'2" and weighed 125. Officer called for emergency backup, and the defendant and another officer arrived. Taylor ordered Stoakley to arrest the plaintiff. And the reason why, as you can see up above, is because these cops were, his buddies there were arresting somebody else, and they were being rough, and she said, hey, quit being so rough with them. And that's when they called this maniac Stoakley out, who broke her wrist, was never disciplined, and then went on to murder an unarmed man. So that's what's going on there. Okay, so this next story is about a Palm Beach Gardens police officer named Newman Raha, who was on duty. This is the first police report incident that was in the paper. So it makes him sound like he's just out there risking his life and coming across all these dangerous criminals out there. Well, it turns out he was the only criminal, because he was arrested for this on June 1st. So how it says at the beginning is that he was on duty in a plainclothes capacity in an unmarked police vehicle, stopped to investigate what he believed to be an abandoned vehicle on I-95. Now, Corey Jones was coming home from playing in a band. He played the drums for the band and for church every Sunday. I've seen their family's vigils and stuff, and it's true. Like, he was a really nice, good guy. He did have a weapon to carry a weapon, a concealed carry permit, I believe. But he never brandished his firearm like this guy said. He never took it out. And in fact, autopsy report showed that he was shot 3 times in the back. The officer fired his weapon 6 times. Corey Jones did not fire his weapon at all. But he said that, of course, he pointed it at him. So that's enough to make him fear for his life. Well, guess what? While he was on the phone with the tow truck company records everything for quality assurance, and they found the interaction on audio, and it incriminates him fully. So they charged him on June 1st with manslaughter and also with attempted first-degree murder. And the reason why they did them separate is because he shot him twice, and then the guy got out to run. This is what the autopsy showed, okay? He was running away, and he was shot 3 times in the back. Now, the audio shows an interaction, which is a little bit similar here. Okay, real quick recap, because there's some clarifications I want to make, and I need to reiterate a couple points to make sure you get the whole picture. The first officer, the East Cleveland, Ohio officer, he was never charged or implicated in the death of the prostitute. That's just a suspicion. That's just an assumption that I've gathered from the reports from the news, and obviously you've seen the newspaper guy asking the chief when he said, oh no. But the second one, I wanted to make clear who posted the second officer's bond, the one that's in prison or jail for murder. That would be the St. Louis Policemen's Association. Them good old fellows went down there and posted that $1 million bond right away. Got him out the very next day within 24 hours. Wasn't that nice? And the Miami guy, the cop who just got charged with murder yesterday, I wanted to make sure that you know that he was at the time in plain clothes. He was in an unmarked car, and that makes a big difference. And the interaction with the tow truck dispatch caught, the interaction went like this in a nutshell. Are you okay? Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. And then, oh my God, from the tow truck dispatcher, because she heard 3 shots go off. So it was not, show me, please put the gun down, or show me your ID, or, you know, nothing, just that. So we'll see how these cases turn out. I'll keep you all updated the best I can, and thank you for watching.